I don't hear anything. Yeah.
All the
All the answers you need to know.
odds now.
The Internet Dad Show. Oh,
Whoa. Is it really not working? It's not
I
working.
can't hear it.
I can't
I
either.
can't hear it.
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
All right. Well, good morning.
Why is that not
Hey.
working? Can you hear me?
I can.
All right.
It's
I don't know.
okay. Only one person's here, so we're good.
You know, we'll have an inappropriate play of that in a moment when it's no longer
Right.
appropriate. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning. I'm Jason. That's Dave. This is Deacon. And we are your internet dads. I don't know why sound effects are not working.
Tuesday. It is
I'm gonna reload it.
Tuesday.
I'm gonna reload it.
I had to. I was here at the station yesterday. Did any of you guys? I'm sure you both did. Remembered Memorial Day. I don't have to tell you, but I always remind folks on the air, to remember those that have sacrificed.
Have either of you ever done the Murph Challenge on Memorial Day?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, so Lieutenant Murphy was a Navy SEAL. He was killed in the line of duty, and his exercise routine has become a Memorial Day challenge that individuals will often take up. It usually involves, and you don't have to do this part, but a weighted vest, 25 pounds. You'll run 1 mile.
No,
At
thanks.
the end of that mile, hold on. Oh no, we're not even.
I'm out.
Near.
We're out already.
I've done
I can
it
do the
once.
weighted vest if I got to
Run
sit down.
1 mile.
You made my back hurt just talking about the
100 pull-ups.
Oh God, I can't even do like one.
200 push-ups. 300 squats.
Wow.
Run 1 more mile.
Wow.
And you're supposed to donate.
And he did that every day?
He did that regularly.
How old did he die?
He was young. He was young. And so when I did it a couple of years ago, I had a friend of mine who he is older than me, but he was a beast of a guy. He didn't look like a beast of a guy. He looked like a scrawny wire.
Mm-hmm.
He would do it like inside an hour and a half.
What?
Other people are doing it. Yeah. Other people are doing it like inside of an hour.
That would take me like, Andy,
100,
you have Memorial Day
It
weekend.
took me 4 hours. It took me 4 hours to do it.
No.
Yeah.
This week?
No, I didn't do it this time. I did it like 4 years ago and said, "Yep, I'm good." Lieutenant Murphy and all those brave men and women, thank you for your sacrifices.
Absolutely, thank you.
But I do encourage you, do the Murph at least once. You don't have to do the weighted vest though. The weighted vest can be out.
I can't do all that. It would take me. I would need like a week to get that done.
I'm sorry, it's not happening.
I'd be like that Olympic runner guy. Have y'all ever heard the story of that Olympic? It wasn't the Olympic runner. It was some race that he raced in when he was young, like in the 50s or the 60s, and he collapsed near the end of the race and just walked off and did not finish the race.
Oh, really?
And then like 50 something years later, the story gets out in our time and they invite him back to the race, and he finished the race, and his official time is like 54 years, 17 hours, blah, blah, blah. Is his official time for this race. And
they could have been like, you did it. You finally came back and did it, and you did the race, and you got 4 hours or whatever. But they were like, no, we're going to jerk your chain and remind the whole world that you forgot to do this a half century ago.
That's wrong.
Shizo Kanakuri, a Japanese runner, holds the record for the longest time to complete a marathon, finishing the race at 54 years, 8 months, 6 days, 5 hours, and 32 minutes. He started the race at the 1912 Stockholm Olympics, but had to drop out due to heat exhaustion. He wasn't officially withdrawn, and 54 years later, he was invited back to finish the race.
Wow. All right.
Isn't that cool? That's awesome. So yes, Dave, you are more of a physical specimen than I am. If you did that in 4 hours.
No, I'm not.
I couldn't. I could have probably done that back in my late 20s, maybe. I was probably
You could do anything. You could do it now if you.
You're right. If I just worked out and did stuff, but I mean, if you had a PlayStation 5 game that ran that whole scenario, I could probably beat your time easy.
If you had a PlayStation game, okay, I don't have a PlayStation, but if you had a game where it was real time and you had to go left button, right button for each of your feet, how far into the race would you go?
No. Can you imagine?
I just posted the Murph challenge, the website and everything on the general tab, but also in our I guess
Dude,
I'm not moderated. So
that
there.
JJ, that made me think of so I love fishing games. I've always loved fishing games. You know, I always have. And in Red Dead Redemption 2, probably absolutely my favorite game of all time. I've beat that game like 3 times all the way through.
That's where you pretend to be a cowboy.
Right. And there's all kinds of stuff. It's actually, I mean, it's a wonderful story. But it's one of the best hunting games ever made. There's like 225 different species, and there's all these different species of fish. So what I'm getting at is I played the game all the way through, and when you fish, you have to do this to reel in. You have to take your thumb and move the little stick, the joystick around in a circle to simulate the reeling of the reel. And then the fish will, and you got to stop, and it was a nightmare.
Did they use reels?
Yeah. And I hated fishing in that game.
How did they think they catch fish? And then what? I'm sorry.
Dude, you don't
Let me finish this, and then y'all can discuss the damn reels of the late 1800s. Okay. What I'm getting at is I had to do it, and it sucked until I realized that you can go into the settings and change it just to press square, and you don't have to do that shit at all. So now fishing's really fun in that game because all I got to do is press square to reel in instead of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I thought of when you were talking about that game.
That makes me think then why hasn't, because like I don't fish, but people that fish, you see them all the time with the reel, like me. Why don't they have an electric motor button on a real fishing rod where you can just like wind it back?
I think there actually is that, but you don't want that. I mean, if you're fishing, you want it's about feeling too. You're feeling the tug of that fish on the other side. So if you've got a big one when I caught that 36-pound catfish, there were times that Dad was like, stop reeling. Then I had to like sit there and kind of go with it and throw the thing down to the, close to the water, the rod down close to the water and so then he would make me start reeling again. That fish will give up for a little bit, and then that's when you start reeling. That's the big one.
I think it's pretty clear. Like, I don't know about fishing. Like,
you'd love it.
Would I?
Fishing and throw it back? I mean, what do you think, Dave? Do you think JJ would like it, or honestly,
I don't think he would there and not do
it. I don't think he could sit there.
I can't.
I don't think he could sit there either and be still.
Yeah. I mean, hold on. Does this count as fishing?
I think he would like magnet fishing, which isn't fishing, but
he would like jugging.
I mean, like
he might like jugging. Jugging is where you take like a jug and you tie bait onto it and you throw it out and you put them in different spots and then you sit there and watch, and eventually the jug will pop up straight in the water, and that you'd go over and you pull it up and you get a fish, and then you go and you do the other ones called jug fishing. We go jugging.
Noodling.
I've never seen that.
I've literally never seen noodling. Noodling. It's a way
noodling.
of catfishing around here.
I've never done noodling, and all those people are freaking crazy, but I've seen it.
You just use your hand.
Because those catfish will stay on their bottom feeders, and so they'll snuggle into these little not caves, but like little crevices and stuff. And these people will have gloved hands, and they'll just stick their hands.
They don't.
Yeah, sometimes they don't even have gloves. They just stick their hand in there and grab that catfish in their catfish's mouth. And let me tell you from experience, I am straight up speaking from wisdom experience here. Catfish, when they fin you, the catfish poison will straight up affect you.
What you mean catfish poison?
So the catfish have their fins, that come up. They have these little bony barbs that come up. Bony protrusions that come up out of their dorsal fin and their what are these fins called?
Not pectoral fin. What are they?
I don't know.
They're fins.
Yeah, but they have bony protrusions that go along those fins, and they will use them to try to get you to let go of them. And if the smaller ones, it's going to hurt. But the bigger ones, you get to about a 9 or 10 pound catfish, and you're going to get sick to your stomach and throw up. You want to be careful with catfish. It will fin you, and you will get sick. I have gotten sick.
I did check while we're still talking about it. The first reel was invented around 300 AD, 400 AD in China, but the modern fixed spool or spinning reel wasn't invented until the 1930s. So we've used reels for almost 2,000 years.
Like a fly type reel.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was thinking more of a fly type thing is what
I think they had those in the 1800s.
Yeah, they would have.
Yeah. And that's what this game does. It's a fly reel.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen on like Survivor shows where like, you know, they don't get anything except like some fishing line, and they'll just take a stick and carve it into a club.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. You don't even need fishing line.
You don't even need fishing. Just you can set a fish trap with stakes.
Yeah.
And then as the tide comes in, fish will be over top of that. And as the tide goes out, they get trapped behind that stuff.
The fish are there, but sometimes you got to go to where the fish are, you know.
Sometimes you do.
You put a trap in and they don't show up. Yeah, you can use the trap, but the ones that I've seen that were fishing and didn't take a rod, but they had fishing line, because you can use fishing line for other things too. You can use it to make your shelter or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, JJ.
They'll take a club and they'll wrap the line around the club, and then you literally throw it just like a fishing rod, and then you reel it in by just running it around the club again. And then when the fish gets close, you use the fishing club, club it in the head.
You want me to tell you what my dad and uncle have been using for fishing bait to catch catfish for years? And my uncle catches these 50 and 60-pound cat, like he's caught like a dozen over 50-pound catfish. It's really not a big thing anymore to say your Uncle Rusty caught a 60-pound catfish this weekend. Again, you know, he catches big ones all the time. They will go and get chicken breasts and cut them up.
Oh.
And then they will get, like, I can't remember what particular flavor, cherry Jello and cherry Kool-Aid. And they will mix the chicken, make the Jello, and put the chicken in the Jello, and then let it. And they use chicken cherry. I think it's cherry Jello, Kool-Aid Jello chicken pieces as bait, and that to catfish is like gourmet chocolate. They just fight each other trying to eat it.
Chicken Jello.
Chicken. I think that's what it is. Chicken Jello.
That does sound terrible.
Yeah.
But maybe if you're a fish, it's like, well, I've never had this. I usually have to swim around in all my brother's poop, and now I've got chicken Jello. All right.
Much.
It makes me sad that none of the sound effects are working this morning. That's like,
oh man,
that's like one of my favorite things. Okay.
You want me to boo for 15 minutes?
I mean, you know what I could have done?
Thanks for catching my joke, Dave.
I could have played the
I was going to do the
song.
30-second laugh.
Yeah, do the 30-second laugh.
Oh, I should put them in here. Okay. Well, anyway. I saw a story this morning, guys.
Yeah, I want to see your story
because
Dave posted a lot of good ones. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Dave posted a lot of good ones. I can't.
Dave's posted some good ones here, and Brian had one.
So today's show title is CIA Spook Nerds Used Older Code, Didn't Check Out.
It's an older code, sir, but it definitely checks out.
That's
all right. So
that's a reference to the Star Wars. The Star Wars researchers in double quotes. researchers unveil the CIA's covert Star Wars fan sites that were used for CIA communications. Star Wars web.com or something like that.
Star Wars web.net. I'm on there right now if you want to see.
Well, it's not. Obviously, it's not. It's
the
anymore.
Wayback Machine. And the
Yeah,
Wayback Machine
oh yeah,
still
you can pull it up
exists.
on the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
I have TechSpot pulled up ran this story from Our Big Book. CIA 2010 covert communication website. So back in 2010, which was that before that was before the sequel trilogy, right? Wasn't 2010? That was before.
That was a long time ago. That was in the early 2000s.
No, yeah,
No,
the sequels.
the
Yeah,
sequel.
it came out in 90 or two. No,
Yeah.
it came out in the 90s, 97.
No,
Yeah,
not
90
the prequels, not the prequels. The sequel, a
Oh.
new,
8, 9,
not
and
that.
10?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like it's right on that kind of era before. I think it's
Like
before.
7. Star Wars 7.
Yeah, 7. When did that come
The
out?
Force Awakens. Isn't it sad that we don't even know the names of these? 2015. The Force Awakens.
Oh, okay. So
2015.
this is 5 years before the Force Awakens. So you still have middle-aged Star Wars fans that are like, you know what, those prequels did me dirty, but I still love Star Wars, and it could still happen.
Clone Wars season 1 was 2008. The cartoon.
Okay. Oh, so this is like
it
right in the
sharing?
height of the next generation of Star Wars.
Could you
fans.
moderate me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to share the thing.
The website.
The Clone Wars movie was 2003.
That's the real movie, the live action.
No. That's the 2003 TV series. That was the one with the real simple, not so simple animation.
There we
Right.
go.
Okay.
With Dooku and.
All right. So 2010, 5 years before. I already forgot the name of the movie.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, I know. Me too. It sucks.
But if you look on this page, they're definitely, you can see the stuff that they're advertising.
Oh yeah.
Hang on, let me get out of here.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this website. This is everything you remember about a fan website from the mid 2000s, from the 2010 era.
Yeah, it
You
does.
got
It looks like it.
ads on the left,
Cities.
ads on the right. You got your kind of center area. You got a column.
Wow,
for
that's
news
crazy.
stations.
I never thought about that, dude. But that is like how websites have changed, and you really didn't even notice it. They're kind of the same, but that is straight up a '90s looking. That looks like the pirated comic book website I go to.
Right.
It's the same format.
You got the header banner at the top. The page.
I'm surprised there's not an ad at the top.
Look at the whole webpage.
Oh, those are actual. Oh, I don't want to click on anything.
No, don't click on it.
I don't.
The whole page is like as wide as your monitor, but the defined area of the webpage is only the middle third. And then within that, only on the left and right, you have ads and links and stuff.
Well, that's
so
because
it's like the middle bit. Well, yeah, our monitors
back then, computers back then were more square than what I got.
This amazing looking fan website was actually written by CIA operatives, and they used it as a secure communications platform with what's the word for the suckers in the other parts of the world? Yes, well, maybe not operatives, but put the page back up. What are you doing?
No, it's gone.
Oh, okay. They used it for communications with their assets.
Confidential human
whatever the categories are. So there's like the guy running the thing, and then there's like the guy that's like in charge of this, and then there's like the suckers that we trick into helping our country in the other part of the world.
Freaking genius. I'm
sorry. You think so?
Absolutely, because there's that Star Wars world is so deep and so in depth that
actually work.
I could have a conversation with you through you two. I could have a conversation with you two about Star Wars terms.
Yeah.
And completely means something else.
Right.
Well, I'm looking at these links here, and like some of them,
we need to power down their shield generator.
Some of them, like the Think Geek link, that takes me to a Think Geek website. So these are actual hyperlinks that work and do what they're supposed to do. But there's going to be like, did you watch? Was it The Net? The movie that had the secret hidden Yeah,
Oh my
single bullet.
God, what
There was
what
the
an
secret
Pre-ordered pizza.
Mozart's.
Pre-ordered pizza.
What was it? Mozart's Ghost or Mozart's.
Mozart's Ghost, I think, is what it was
Oh
called. I
crap!
think
I
you're
can't
right.
remember what it was called, but yeah, I had that. You just had to click on the certain little small
Two
hyperlink that
pixels.
was hidden.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a hidden hyperlink that was in a pixel or something. Yeah.
that stuff can legit be on here.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely it could.
and where do you think Hollywood got the idea from?
Yeah.
All right.
Like I
So,
said, I mean,
so
is it nefarious? Yeah, it's
hold
nefarious.
on.
But is it a great idea if I was going to write it into a story? Absolutely, we're
Right.
going to communicate through a Star
And
Wars fan site.
listen,
That's genius.
your reaction to the idea is how it got past the proposal and funding stages. And then it got implemented, and we have the website out there. But here's the shoe drop. The spooks at the CIA, they don't know how to write websites, and they did a bad job of code in the background. They did a bad job of coding the website, and this is not the only site they had. There's 9 that have been disclosed, and there's something like 855 of these various kinds of fan websites that are written by the CIA that were used for communications all over different kind of subjects. I don't know. There's probably some about dogs or cars or, like who knows what. And somebody thought like, this is a great idea. These will be niche little websites. And then you can come along as the operator, log in with your secret login, and you can get communications. We can securely communicate with you. Oh, that's a great idea. It's not a great idea if all of your websites are in sequential order of IP addresses. So if China or Iran finds one of them, and then they just go to the next IP address and see what that website is, and then they go to the next IP address and see what that website is, and sees that they have common background code. So the spooks that made these something like 900 websites, they had some bad code, and it created breadcrumbs that linked them together.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it was bad code. I'm going to say it was immature code.
Yeah. Right.
It was immature.
Well,
like
you don't hire web developers to be spies. So I guess spies are like, well, I mean, like how hard can it be? I'll just do it
totally
myself.
Do.
Well, you
totally
do now. You do now. You do now. So,
yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean it's a trial and error.
You know where the CIA hires the vast majority of CIA operatives come from? Well, I don't know if it's the vast, but I know a huge percentage of CIA operatives come from the Mormon faith.
Huh.
For legit a plethora of reasons. First of all, many of them have foreign travel experience and often have some bilingual skills.
Sure.
The Mormon faith, which I'm not like proposing or anything like that, tend to have higher patriotism and moral ethics. So they end up being targets. Mormons tend to have higher academic standards. So you see all of this stuff and they're like, hey, these individuals are great for us. And so they come with a whole breadth of width and breadth of backgrounds that they will use. They won't hire individuals who just have criminal justice degrees because they're going to teach you what they want to teach you. And I think this is just an example of really immature. Like we didn't know what the internet could do back in the 90s.
Yeah, and that's what and what he said there a second ago when I forgot what he was talking about.
The sequential numbers.
Hiring those people and doing whatever, and you come across never mind. I was going to say something about that, but I've already forgot what we were talking about.
On a tangent.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I was just I was going to try to point out that sometimes, as a code writer and whatnot, especially with older things, like back then, these people, you don't really see the problems that can arise from something new. You know what I mean? Especially in code, because you can think you've got everything completely done, and then you put the code out there, in 6 months, somebody's going to find something new to get around something. So you have to develop something better, and you're constantly always having to evolve because of.
I want to put this back up because I think I'll do it myself because I think it's a good background for what we're talking about.
I think that's really interesting, Dave, about the
Mormons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really crazy.
I've read
they're a
that
good
numerous
they're a good
places.
target group for
They're
that because
they're probably not
they
targeted as much as
sure,
you're
you can use a
okay.
different word
Mhm.
as a recruitment pool. They have a um social they're a social acclimatization, like so internal social
Skill
pressures to
sets.
follow rules as a
Mhm.
group. So like I'm Mormon and you're a Mormon, and if you misbehave and you break the Mormon rules, then like you're gonna have poor social consequence. So they have an internal culture that um
If there were only a
that pro-
word that described that, like cult or something like that, like 4 letters, could be
no
easy, roll off the tongue.
no and like it's just
No
a trait
comment.
of humans that live in a tribal society for you know for survival's sake. You adhere to the culture because if you have hello coffee. All right, so this website,
Yeah.
you would go here, you would log in, and if you were an operator, you would log in and you'd have access to your secret messages. Well, Iran and China stumbled onto one of these, and you know what? People in Iran and China, they're not hillbillies. They're every bit as sophisticated in 2010 for computer science as apparently the people that got hired at the CIA.
CNN shows me that they live in huts and in the desert, and they live in rice fields. So I don't believe you, JJ.
The other day my daughter said something and I was like, no, that's from China. I don't know what, like I don't know, it's a product or something like that, and maybe it had a light in it or whatever, and it's like, oh, people in China have electricity, and I was like, oh my god, I'm doing a bad job here. I'm doing a bad job of teaching my kids
They're
about the world.
kids. They're in kindergarten.
I had to be honest, even when I was back in the 1990s, when I was deployed to Korea, when the plane was landing, I was like, oh my God, they have lights and stuff where you can, as you're landing at night, like the city lights are on. I was like, oh wow, this is
So you're pretty tall. How tall are you? Like 6'4"?
6'2". I'm 6'2".
Oh, you're only 6'2"?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
only
a
6'2".
short bastard.
Mm-mm.
So I've got a buddy that's 6'8", and he was going to Korea. And I told him, I was like, because he was worried because I have been around him my whole life, and I always said, I wish I had $1 for how many times I've heard somebody say a tall comment to him, because he gets it all the time.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, you need to convince all those Korean people over there that you're like an average sized American.
Do you know that we did that back in like the Vietnam War? Like we would American aircraft, American, I don't know, military stuff. One of the things we did in psychological operations to mess with the Viet Cong was we would just like drop condoms. They would be big.
Really? I'm interested in this if this is for real, because I'm
going to call it an
psychological
apocryphal
stuff
story because I don't have any evidence of it, but I've heard this story before.
I want to. That's interesting.
We would just drop like magnums and then they'd find them and be like, "What? Oh my god, these were fighting giants." But for real, when I lived in Korea, I would walk down the city streets of I don't know, Wonju or something like that, and people would be walking up and down the streets, especially at night, because like at night, the younger kids are going out to the bars and stuff. I would walk around. The top of everybody's heads, no joke. Everybody, sea of black hair. Everybody was here, and I'd just be like looking down the street, like I guess I'm going down there. So I mean, it was it was a fun time. All right, so Iran and China,
It's funny.
back in the 2010 era, they figured out that we had made this and others, and as a consequence, they imprisoned and executed many of the people that were used by the CIA to communicate on these websites.
So I want to go back to the condom thing for just a second, because I'm
okay.
reading, and this is hysterical. The CIA and the Soviet Union. There's a story that the CIA considered airdropping Magnum condoms with medium labels over the Soviet Union as a form of psychological warfare. So it's even better than just dropping magnums. These are our mediums. But apparently we did use magnums to protect gun
Yeah, I put that on the end of the barrel
barrels.
so the water doesn't go
Right.
down the barrel. Of course,
And then
everybody knows that.
you would just leave them, but there's no confirmed. But the Magnum, yeah.
Somebody in this in the CIA or whatever was just like, this is a hilarious plan.
That's great. I love that psychological warfare type stuff. That's nothing new. That's been going on forever. I love that kind of stuff.
All right.
The inflatable artillery and tanks and trucks and stuff like that from World War II.
Oh yes, yeah, that's true. But that's more like, oh, we have to do something. We have to make them think that we have something because we got nothing. This was not that. That the Vietnam thing was like,
right. That was straight up psychological. Yeah, messing with them. All right, interesting.
Sorry, I can't use my cough button this morning. Yeah. All right. So I just thought that was a cool. Kind of a cool story, and also kind of like I don't know how I feel about it. How do you feel about the United States government subverting your fan, like the thing you're a fan of? It could be Star Wars, or it could have been like dogs, or it could have been like who knows what
care
material.
Yeah,
I don't care.
And then dozens of people being imprisoned and executed because of this bonehead plan. Bonehead because it wasn't well coded and wasn't like they didn't think to reverse engineer how somebody could decode their mystery website.
Hey, they created a backdoor for communication. That's all this was, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know how extensive it was.
This was just a backdoor for communication. This isn't where communication happened. It was a backdoor that got you into whatever.
Okay.
Great. I think it's intelligent.
I do too.
It's poorly designed. From what you're saying about the sequential IP addresses, but things need to be hidden in plain sight for them to really.
If you were going to do it today, you'd probably use a Tor browser and an Onion router to,
Would you?
Do you not think?
You're assuming that technology doesn't exist to be able to. That would require you to use a Tor browser or something.
No, you could do it in a Taylor Swift fan page. Easily.
You could do it on a subreddit.
Yeah, you do easily do it on a subreddit.
You could do it on a Facebook.
But
you can do it in Signal.
I would be surprised. I would actually, I'm not a betting man, but I would take a bet that there are many subreddits out there that are designed specifically for this.
If you're gonna,
many different people,
if all this was a gateway to a communications portal, you could just use an Onion router to go directly to the communications portal. But if they were actually like sending messages on this site,
not all of us are. You don't want to have to go through all that crap. How to make it as easy? We need to make this as easy as possible. If my contact in Yemen needs to be able to open his phone, click a thing, and click here, and he doesn't need to have a special. Right. Well, he needs to be able to go and buy a phone at Walmart and do it.
Well, I guess this is 2000, so
it's 2010.
Yeah, cell phones are common then.
You might have still had a Nokia or a Razor.
No, that crap was in the early 2000s.
You might have still had one. All right, I just thought that was a cool story, so that's what I brought today.
Excellent. That is kind of cool. I like that.
It's kind of neat. But a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what it is, if it's part of my job or whatever, but anytime I'm like, oh, I'm going to come up with this idea, I also always think of like, how could I attack this? How could I, like, whatever my idea is, like, part of my thing I think about is like,
that's good.
Yeah. Like I try to, it's like, bracing for,
I like that. I like that. That's similar because I don't think about how I can attack it. But when I approach an idea, I am and this is what my mom taught me a long time ago. It's like, okay, you got problem. Here is solution A and outcome, solution B and outcome, solution C and outcome. And here's the outcomes of those outcomes, So I like to have So it's kind of the same.
contingency plan.
Here's
The devil's
how-
advocate. I always want to think of
Sure.
what would my enemy do? What would they
Here's
do?
what I would do. I would, let's say, you guys have the same microphone, right? Let's say I shipped you a microphone like that. I would have a device added into that microphone that would allow you to communicate with me without you even knowing it.
Yeah.
And it's hardware that's wired into software that's going to transmit back to me, and I can control how the transmission would go. I don't need a specific onion router or anything. I'm just gonna. You don't even know you're transmitting it. That's the way I would go about it. Otherwise, it's like a cell phone. And
Have you ever heard
oh
of
my
The
word,
Thing? Have you ever heard of The Thing?
John
Thing?
Carpenter.
No,
The
no.
Thing?
Although that is amazing. That's an amazing movie. No, it was a gift from Russia to the American ambassador at the ambassador in Russia. So it was a gift from Russia to the ambassador, and it was a. Let me see if I have a picture of it here.
yeah, because I'm not ringing a bell yet.
Okay, all right. Let me pull this up. Boobity boop. Look at this picture. See this thing right here? It's a wooden block. It's a wooden block that was carved into the image of the United States, whatever.
Yes.
And this was a gift to come on, phone. Why is my phone making noise? I know.
I believe I've actually seen this in person.
Hang on, give me a second. All right, because I want to talk about this to whoever's watching. So Russia gave this to the ambassador, and for something like 7, 8, 9, 10 years, from 1957 until almost 1967, this wooden seal, hung as a decorative piece behind the ambassador's desk in his office. So he's got his desk. He's sitting there. He's on very important calls to the United States. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna do to the Ruskies, and this wooden block was sitting up on the wall. The wooden seal has no electronic components. It has no electricity. It has nothing like that.
I know what you're getting at, and I have seen this before now too.
Yeah. The thing was devised by the guy that made that what's that instrument that you don't touch it, you just kind of wave your hands in front of it and it makes warbly sounds.
Theremin.
Theremin.
Is it theremin?
Yeah,
Okay.
theremin. I think it's called theremin. It was let's see. Name is on this page. Whoop. Almost spilled my coffee. There. Yeah, theremin. Leon Theremin. Soviet Russian inventor. Designed by Theremin, cool. It had a just a metal like cylinder inside and a rod, no electricity, just a cylinder and a rod, an acoustic rod, I guess, I don't know. And it was carved and hidden in the back of the seal. And this is a good picture of it right here. Inside of the seal, here's that picture of inside of the thing. So it had a secret, it secretly opened up, and inside was this little metal disc, almost nothing to it, and a rod. And this rod had this property so that if you aim I'm going to say X-ray, but I don't know kind of radio wave, but some frequency of radio wave, aim it at the rod would vibrate. And then it would return back, like it's vibrating, and then that vibration is bounced out and sends back.
Yes.
When the ambassador's on the phone and they're shooting that silent, invisible radio wave at his room, and he's on the phone. Oh, I'm talking to Washington. Da 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 da. It very subtly changes the frequency of the vibration that's returning to be observed. So for 10 years, Russia was able to listen in on every phone call from the ambassador's office, and we had no idea because they would, do whatever they did to sweep the bugs, and they never found it. So Russians are very, very smart folks.
I didn't know that's what that guy's name was. Ryan says that He had some weird things happen to him afterwards. I think he disappeared or was kidnapped. Leo Theremin.
Wow, really?
I'm going to look into this.
I want to dig into that. That's
this
neat.
is super interesting to me. I'm going to dig into this today. This is cool.
There was there's a museum in DC, not the International Spy Museum, but I think it's along those lines. Maybe the FBI Museum that's there in DC, not the one in New York, but in DC. They have a chunk of granite or tile that's I remember seeing at some point that had equipment in there to record, and it was in the embassy, one of the U.S. embassies, and it was installed to capture stuff.
Wow,
crazy. Because I mean, it's granite. How do you get something in there?
That rocks.
That does rock. That rocks, dude. If you've never been to Washington D.C., I would highly like. I hear Washington's
I'm
not
going to be there next week,
but to go to Washington D.C. just to take like a tour of all the museums and stuff, I could spend a whole day in the Smithsonian Institute of Natural History there. It was freaking, and then they've got the aviation museum, and like Dave said, the FBI museum. I know there's a spy museum,
International Spy Museum. You have to go in through a telephone booth that drops down to get into the internet.
That would be awesome.
You take your shoe off, you make a phone call.
The museum that I'm planning on hitting up is the museum, the Illusion Museum, because I'm getting ready to do a week of science camp where our science is illusion.
Oh, I'm going to math camp this year. That's cool.
Fun. That adds.
I'm not going anywhere. You guys.
JJ's going to fat camp.
Ouch.
Camp Cucamonga. Hey, I've got one here that Dave posted and we're going to title this story "Surprise, Surprise, Surprise," like old Gomer Pyle. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
And I watched so many episodes of Gomer Pyle. Syndicated TV was so awesome back in the day.
It was awesome.
It's still awesome.
Yeah, man.
Colossal scientist now admits we really didn't make dire wolves. Like we said we did, but we didn't. We just modified some gray wolves.
Yeah, well,
they're not dire. And I think Dave and Deacon and JJ all said this about 3 months ago.
No, I believed the story. I believed it. I believed it. I thought, oh my God, they got what are Game of Thrones wolves is what I thought they were.
No.
I wanted
dark
to believe.
Me too, because I'd really like to have a Hydra and a unicorn and a griffin.
Needed to believe.
Oh, yeah. Did we talk about the dragon last week?
No, that's another one.
Dragon.
That's another one. Yeah, you posted.
People that needed to believe were the ones that signed off on the NIS grants. They believed, got that funding done. Now they can come out with the truth.
Dave, I don't know where the dragon one is. Here's one that also that he posted. JJ, you'll like this one. A tree dating back to the era of dinosaurs has bared fruit for the first time.
Oh wow!
Yeah. What do you think that tastes like? The Woollamie pine, a living fossil approximately 90 million years old, has achieved something unprecedented in this little old couple's garden in England. The couple purchased the rare conifer at a charity auction in 2010, little knowing that it would become a part of botanical history.
Wait, how big is it? They carried a tree home?
It was I don't know.
The dinosaur era tree. So huge.
Did they? If it was a real tree, did they like transplant a 90 million year old?
Sure, it was like a tree seed or some crap.
Okay. So something that has ostensibly never produced fruit in the entirety of human history, biblical, timelines aside, in I don't imagine it would be necessarily compatible with human digestion. I don't think you could eat something like that safely.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, it might be entirely toxic. Or not. I don't know. There is a kind of
trying to find
like
the
a
story.
trend in human society where we're waiting later and later in life to start having kids, and so maybe that tree just beat us to the punch on that trend.
If the seeds prove viable, it would represent nothing short of a renaissance for the species, explains botanist Q Gardens. Every seed represents a potential
Wait,
new
what is the
to
botanist's
multiply.
name?
Q Gardens.
What's their last name?
Gardens.
It's got to be fake. There's no way the
Dude,
botanist's last name is Gardens.
up the road, there's a Dr. Brush, okay? A Dr.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Gary Brush. What do you think
Dentist?
he is?
Tell me he's a dentist.
He's
Hairstylist.
Better not be a
an
proctologist.
optometrist. He's a fucking optometrist. I'm
Oh.
like, dude, you missed the mark.
You couldn't have got a clearer sign from God.
I named you Brush, Gary.
Wow.
There's also the Dave's dinosaur story is they found a dinosaur, a dragon skull, and then they found scary underwater dinosaur fossils in Kentucky. So,
Oh,
No, those are sharks.
yeah,
Those are sharks they found in Kentucky.
fossilized mega dinosaur sharks in Kentucky.
Mammoth Cave.
I swear I saw some news about Kentucky the other day, but it wasn't dinosaur.
Because we're awesome.
Yeah.
And it was
Go
like it was
Sharks,
probably
go!
it was probably an editorial from some Texas guy, and he was like, you know what? I
Right.
love Texas, but Kentucky's pretty awesome too. So I think you Texans need to realize that Kentucky's pretty sweet.
Well, look, I mean, all kinds of things happen in life. People get hit in the head, brain damage. Fine. Hey, do you want to send Jill out to tell a joke?
No.
I found the dragon. Oh my!
Oh,
that
come here,
took
tell us
so
about the
long.
dragon.
I found it. Hold on here. I'll just show the video because it's short. Share this window. All right. Can you see? I'm gonna hop off. You
Yeah.
can already see the dragon's head right
Yeah.
there. But I'm gonna turn my screen off. Dude is digging wells. That's what he does for a living, and this is what he finds. I don't know if there's audio.
It's a dragon, straight up. That's real. That's for real.
It's a dragon.
Look at that,
Yep.
Jill.
Yeah.
It's
Dragon.
right there. It's a dragon. It's
a
right
dragon.
there. Look on this.
It's a dragon.
Right there. There's a guy in a
Look,
well, and there's a
the
dragon head
eye
that he
area,
found.
There's the nose. The eye.
What kind of dragon was it?
It was a dirt dragon.
A dirt dragon. No, a dirt.
It's an earth
Hey,
dragon.
come up here and sit in this chair so they can see you.
It's sleeping. Don't
It
wake it.
is. No. No.
Oh, I can't do the Murphy thing. Jeez. All right, Jill. You want to tell a joke?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me.
I lost my 2 teeth last night.
Oh yes, you did.
Look!
That's awesome.
All right.
All I want for Christmas is my tooth.
All right, give him a big grin.
Okay.
Show him. Show him. Show him. Bigger grin than that.
Dad.
All right.
Dad.
You want to tell your joke?
Yes.
Go ahead.
What do the rockets say to the other rocket?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Being your friends is a blast.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Pretty good. You got another joke, Joe?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, well, no.
See if I have one.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
For a good one.
make sure it's not terrible.
I can't promise that. What is a ninja's favorite type of shoes?
Sneakers. Sneakers.
Sneakers? He muted himself.
You muted yourself. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Well, I don't know what you did. He went in silent assassin mode.
No, now we're never gonna know what kind of fake
Can you hear me
shoes
now?
ninjas- Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. That was just a bad connection. All right. She was underwhelmed by that joke. Okay, guys, what do you got?
Was it sneakers?
I
Oh,
got
yeah,
two.
sneakers
Oh,
for
okay.
sure.
All right.
I got two.
Sorry.
All right. So I got kicked out of a karaoke bar once for singing Danger Zone like 6 or 7 times in a row. Apparently I exceeded the maximum number of logins attempts. That was a stretch.
Nice.
That song is by Kenny Loggins. Yeah. Yeah. You don't think that's funny? She doesn't get it. that
Uh,
wasn't my joke. That was his joke. It was great.
so my wife and I were out driving the other day, and she's like, "Can you pass me the chapstick?" So I said, "Sure." Grab it, hand it on over to her, and I realized I accidentally gave her the glue stick.
Uh-oh.
She still isn't talking to me.
Wah, wah.
All right. Hey, maybe the sounds will work
another one.
tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Politicians
one
and
works.
talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter